What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. It is March 18th, 2019. We are just 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. Fightful.com will be the place to be. We're going to have coverage of all kinds of events that weekend. I don't know what the podcast schedule is going to be like, but you know we're going to be here after all the major events. But maybe you want a little bit extra. You want a little bit more. You want some Q&A shows. You want NXT. You want 205 Live. You want UK covered. You want NWA, Impact, Ring of Honor. You want me doing an exclusive show. Why not? FightfulSelect.com is the most direct way to support it. Today we had some exclusive info, some backstage reaction to the Anderson Gallows situation, which we might as well talk about here. We got a lot to cram into this show, but check out FightfulSelect.com. There's probably something there that you will enjoy. You're going to enjoy Alex Pawlowski tonight. Here he is. Hi, Alex.
Hello, everybody. It's we missed St. Patrick's Day by one day, but I wanted to say top of the morning to you, all of our Australian listeners, because I believe it is morning there.
I'm not getting pinched today. That's for damn sure. So let's just go ahead and talk about some of the news that emerged today. Lots of news, Alex. And usually SmackDown is the show where we get to talk about news because the show itself isn't as long. People ask me, why don't you have 3 people on Mondays? Well, because if we have 3 people on Mondays, the show's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours long.
Yeah.
That's why we used to on Tuesdays, why we talk news on Tuesdays. But there was a lot that happened today, Alex, from the Warrior Award announcement and the re-signings and the not re-signings. First off, DJZ, AJ Styles, both going to be with WWE for the foreseeable future. DJZ, a new recruit. AJ Styles re-upped, did it unceremoniously, was just like, hey, by the way, re-signed. Also, Sin Cara, you want to talk about maximizing what you've done. He's staying with WWE. What did you think of these?
Well, I've been a fan of DJZ since before he almost died in the ring. But that's an amazing story that to make it out of that crazy thing that happened to him in Mexico, where like he was just on the verge of death for days in a Mexican hospital, to make it out of that, on the other side of that, make it to WWE. That's an amazing story that if they're smart, they'll use to tell when he's getting some kind of push in the cruiserweight division, probably, if that still exists by the time he's up, but or NXT or wherever he is. That's an amazing story to tell. Glad to have AJ Styles back in the fold. It's, I didn't think there was really that big of a chance of him leaving. I mean, it didn't feel like to me, but it's nice to see that he's going to stick around for a while. Sin Cara, man, yeah, exactly. Talk about maximizing what you got.
Got a shoe deal, my man. Yeah. He's got a shoe deal.
I don't remember the last time I saw him on my television.
I had somebody say, people will always, they'll submit questions. Oh, would you ever want to work for WWE? Only if I was guaranteed a shoe deal. That's the dream. I want a shoe deal. That's all that is appealing about that. So good for Sin Cara. AJ Styles is the guy that was going to have interest from everybody.
Of course.
And when I mean everybody, I mean Impact. I mean WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW. If you know what, I get the feeling Dave Lagana and Billy Corgan we're probably gonna try to ring them up and say, hey, former NWA champion AJ Styles, let's film some stuff.
Yeah, AJ Styles is the rare guy who's been a legend every place he's worked, and he's worked every place. Like there aren't many promotions out there where AJ Styles has not appeared, and he's always been, a super top guy in that Fed.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this on Wednesday, probably tomorrow night as well, but names that aren't coming back, so it seems. Karl Anderson, Luke Gallows. Now, Karl's played a bit of hokey pokey, saying, don't believe everything you read. I know he's relocated recently. He's moved from this beautiful area to Florida. No more 40-degree opening days for him, but doesn't look like they're coming back. Now, I talked to people in WWE, and I had posted this on Select, so I'll give you all a little tidbit here. One of the people that I talked to, Alex, man, they couldn't have laid it out any better. They're not re-signing because they got benched. So WWE decided to bench them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, because that was the news story, was that Gallows and Anderson were taken off the road. We kind of knew they weren't going to re-sign, but the news today was they're taken off the road. So the thing is, the reason these guys likely did not want to re-sign is because they weren't on TV. And WWE said, well, you know what? Since you don't, how about you're not on TV or live events, and we just pay you anyway?
Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy their work in the ring, especially since they turned babyface. Babyface Karl Anderson is a load of joy to watch.
Fantastic.
The biggest tragedy out of this, I think, undoubtedly, is that when Southpaw gets a third season, we're not going to get to see those guys doing their stuff on that, because that was amazing.
Two criminally underutilized guys.
100%.
The fact, and hey, there's still time. There's still time to put Balor and AJ Styles on the same show, have them feud over the allegiance of these two guys, integrate them, and then, you know what? Say SummerSlam, you do maybe Styles versus Balor. If one or the other wins, then the club leaves or something like that. Write them off in a creative way. Make a best out of what you got.
Yeah, I always thought it'd be a really cool thing to have Balor and AJ feud, and the club, Gallows and Anderson, like, have to choose the allegiance. Like, which guy are they going to back? They don't want to. They don't want to be in the middle of this. Like, hey, guys, let's all get together. The four of us can run everything. But for some reason, Balor and Styles just can't get along, to the point that, like, for example, Gallows chooses to go with Styles and Anderson chooses to go with Balor, and how that breaks up Gallows and Anderson. Like, what could be the catalyst to make that happen? Like, there was a really cool storyline they could have done, but we could probably say that with about, several hundred storylines.
Also, Warrior Award recipient this year, Sue Aitchison. Sue has helped grant over 6,000 wishes, putting smiles on kids' faces for over 30 years, said Stephanie McMahon. We can talk about the Warrior Award and the person behind that, but all things considered, I think this is a great pick. This is a wonderful selection, something a little bit more close to the original pitch, and I think just an awesome selection.
No, yes, I think that is true. From all accounts, this woman is amazing, and everyone who's come in contact with her has nothing but good things to say. The Warrior Award has always felt like this weird thing, like from a lot of the stuff that we've heard Mr. Hellwig say during his life. It doesn't.
I'll put it like this: I often hold out hope that this award was Vince McMahon's final troll on The Ultimate Warrior. For The Ultimate Warrior to say all the terrible things he said about people with cancer, and gay people, and of different races, for him to then give an award to handicapped people and people who had cancer and fought all these things that he targeted. Hey, sure.
Yeah, the fact that, I mean, the idea that this entire thing is just one massive troll job by Vince on the Ultimate Warrior is at least as likely as this is that this is what the Ultimate Warrior really wanted.
Yes, yeah. So let's talk about Raw in Chicago. Ooh, this is the kind of place you need to be in when you're on the road to WrestleMania, Alex.
Yes, it absolutely is. You need a place like this that's going to give these kind of reactions.
And they gave a great one when Paul Heyman came out, healed the crowd in Chicago. I thought this was a pretty good promo. There were some people that were hung up on him saying moveset. I don't associate that with fakeness and all that. People do moves. I mean,
could he have said repertoire?
Yeah,
like, I mean, like, it's a synonym, guys. I mean, the whole thing is that the moveset. What is this, like WWE 2K19? No, it's not. I mean, like, yes, the moveset. It's the set of moves that Seth Rollins does is different than the set of moves that Braun Strowman does. Period.
Yes. I loved this promo from Paul Heyman. He put over Drew McIntyre, but not more than Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
He was like, Rollins, what are you doing? This guy is a career killer, not as much as Brock Lesnar is, but he's still a career killer. And Drew McIntyre, appropriately, because of how smug he is like, let me bask in this. You were saying what? And then Rollins comes out there and just abuses Drew McIntyre with a chair. Abuses Alex. Now, if you see the clip I posted on Twitter, you couldn't see the abuse that well because a cameraman was just violently shaking a camera.
Yeah.
The irony is the clip that came from WWE's Instagram looked way better, Alex.
Yes, it did. Yeah. Especially with that cameraman in the background going up and down and up and down and up and down. He's got to give himself a hernia. This was really great. I hope that we'll find out years from now that Drew McIntyre was wearing a chair-proof like slab of something on his back because underneath that wonderful little zippered sleeveless smock vest thing that he has, if he was wearing something on his back, you would never know it. So that just he would just let Seth just lay into him.
This is a WrestleMania 17 beat down here. Rollins laid it in, man, and
laid it in.
I know I complain about the production an awful lot. This did both Rollins and Drew McIntyre a disservice. When you do that and you make the chair shots that this guy is actually taking, Alex, look less painful, I'm pretty sure Drew McIntyre, just a hunch, doesn't appreciate that. He's like, hey, bro, I had to take those.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't. The thing about it is that yes, we can complain until we're blue in the face, and we do about the terrible production. And
sometimes they fix stuff. Sometimes
they do, but the shaky cam is ridiculous. But listen, there's the clip out there of the reverse angle of a camera on the other side pointing past Rollins, and you can see a cameraman for WWE. And he's like pointing the camera down and up and down and up and squatting the whole time and backing up. And like he's working at his poor knee joints. Like when you actually see how unnatural the cameramen have to move and act in order to capture it the way Kevin Dunn wants it, you realize just how stupid this whole thing looks.
It's rough, man. Rollins hits the ring. Lesnar leaves to a chorus of boos. Paul Heyman prevents him from getting back in the ring. I liked this opening segment. It accomplished a lot, and the crowd was real good. Tell you what else I liked. The match, Braun Strowman and Finn Balor against Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. But if you ever wonder, if you ever hit me up with a tweet or just tweet it yourself, say, why isn't Finn Balor getting pushed to the moon? This promo right here. This one is a pretty good indication. Balor cuts a promo, which I'm sure he was instructed. Alex, did you know St. Patrick's Day was this weekend?
I knew. I knew. You wouldn't know by looking at me, but I was aware.
Same. Well, Balor didn't have the luck of the Irish last week. Really capitalizing on super topical St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
This just was not good. This was not good. Lio Rush, I did find it kind of funny that he called Finn Balor a leprechaun. Not because that joke is funny, because I hear everybody call Conor McGregor that all the time, but because it's Lio Rush saying it, who is like 3 inches shorter.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I did kind of want Balor to pull a Triple H, interrupt the promo, and be like, "I'm 4.5 inches taller than you, sport."
Yeah,
like let's just get that out there right to begin with.
Well, Braun is Balor's partner. We get the picture-in-picture treatment on Raw. What'd you think of that?
That's fine with me. Yeah, I'm cool with that. More of that. Please. The more of this stuff I get to watch without having to be like, and Raw rolls on. 3 different times during the same match. I'd like to be able to actually watch the match that's happening. Thanks.
Well, Balor gets worked over by both heels. Leo is pretty hilarious because he'll get tagged in. He gets punched one time and stumbles over into the corner and tags out to Lashley. He's so good, Alex.
He's great. My favorite part of Leo's shtick tonight was where he wanted to do, I think, the frog splash, and Balor moved early enough that he was able to like roll through it, but he rolled all the way into Braun's corner. And he just stood up right in Braun's face and then fell back down on his butt and ran away. He looked like a Scooby-Doo character seeing a ghost. It was great.
He really gets it. And
he totally does.
And I like that, man. He's going above and beyond to try to improve. And like, he's just one of those guys. He gets it in the ring. He gets it on the mic. His body language is there. He has me blocked on Twitter. That's another point for him. But Leo is out of luck when he doesn't have Lashley to tag anymore.
Yes.
He rolls over in that corner and he's like, oh
no.
And I think this is really where his worth is highlighted. He makes Braun Strowman look like $1 million, Alex.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
That choke slam, he went up and did a moonsault bump on it.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, this is all so great. And also you should fear for the person that Braun is in the ring against. Like, Braun is gigantic. There's been this thing, like an offhanded remark about Braun's in the best shape of his life. I mean, probably. He certainly looks leaner than he ever has, and his arms are just supernaturally large. So yeah, when he's in the ring with a guy who's literally much smaller than half his size,
yeah,
we should be worried about what if Braun throws him too far and he lands in the third row. Like, we should be worried about that kind of stuff because it makes Braun seem like the big deal that he is. Oh, whoops, he's in a feud with the guys from SNL.
We'll talk more about that later. Leo did get thrown around quite a bit, but Lashley saved him with a big spear. Lashley and Balor took each other out. Leo hit a frog splash, but Braun threw him all the way up in the air on that kick out. Leo runs away. Lashley saves him from getting mowed down, but then Lashley just leaves Leo to get choke slammed, power slammed, and pinned. Match was all over the place, but it was good. It was a blast. Outside of the main event, by far the best thing on this show, in the ring at the very least, because the in-ring on Raw has been way less than it had been over the last year or so. But to be honest with you, if they're sacrificing that to develop stories to make these matches and the culmination mean more, I'm behind that. And this one delivered on a little bit of both, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is, yeah, I agree. I mean, they do need to do more to make the Mania stuff mean more because they're trying to get it all done in 3.5 weeks. But that's just the way it's working, is that they've started late to build these things. And so we have, we don't have like a feud that began at the Royal Rumble when X eliminated Y. And then they were like, hey, blah, 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 you and your mother or whatever. We have that thing that lasts through February. And then we think that feud's ending, but nope, it started over again. And so you have 4 months of a build culminating in a match at WrestleMania. That doesn't happen anymore. Now we got guys challenging dudes to fights 3 weeks out.
Well, that's kind of what happened later on. Braun said that he was going to enter the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Quite frankly, what should have happened last year is happening this year. I'm hoping he eliminates everybody. Colin Jost and Michael Shea try to jump in at the end and get eliminated. If they cause him to be eliminated, he's probably chasing them throughout the venue all night, which could probably be pretty funny.
Here's what they should do, because listen, they're SNL guys. Come on, let them write some stuff. Like, you could easily go in earlier in the week and have it be really funny with like pre-tape stuff of him chasing them through all of New York's big landmarks and tourist areas. And then you could have him he chases them out of the arena, and then you can play little tapes of that through the whole thing. If you're gonna make it stupid, at least make it clever and funny. And I mean, like, I don't know. You could have them chase them through Times Square, and
I'm just saying, The venue's actually in New Jersey. You know
I
they
know.
do that.
Oh,
You know
I know.
they do
Of course
that.
they would. They're saying it's WrestleMania in New York, the city
Yeah.
that never sleeps, East Rutherford. No, I mean, come on.
They're going to shove it like Niagara Falls or something
Yeah.
the other end of the state.
Yes.
Oh, man. Alexa Bliss says that she wants to bring peace to these people, Jost, Shay, and Browne. And Browne says he'll try to make an effort for her.
Did you catch the thing that the play on words that they used to make Braun dumb?
No, what was it?
I want to broker some peace. Don't worry, there won't be any broker after I break them. Oh, get it? Because it's broker means to him that's more broken. Get it?
He also said
big and dumb.
He also said the matter of the fact is, or he said it backwards, whichever way it was.
Fact of the matter.
Yeah. Speaking of Alexa Bliss, she's out for a moment of bliss. Brings out Elias. Says that it's a safe space. He says that he's going to be the musical headliner for WrestleMania and dares anyone to interrupt him there. Before we get into the interruption that inevitably happens, Elias is a musical guest. What we've pretty much been saying all along. Sure. And that is Elias. He does not have to wrestle to be over. He has to wrestle maybe once every month or two to even be useful, quite frankly, because he's very good at what he does. He is somewhat of a special attraction, Alex.
Yes, I agree. He doesn't have to wrestle any more than once every 2 months. But the conundrum that I find is that I think he's really good at wrestling. I think he's got a lot of really fun moves. I love the way the snap on his finisher is really cool. The thing where he catches dudes out of the air with that flying knee. Like, I think he's a good wrestler. I want to see him wrestle more. But also, you don't need to see him wrestle every week in order for him to stay over. So it's kind of like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Well, Heavy Machinery and No Way Jose interrupt. Well, at least Jose's conga line did. Elias goes off on Heavy Machinery, and then Jose, disguised as a member of the conga line, attacks Elias. And then for some reason, Elias's music plays. Don't know why, but we get a match. And this was real elementary. Body slams, punches, splashes, knee drop. This is a WWE WWF Superstars match from 1989. Except you don't have, there would always be that one really reckless move that ends up getting posted on Twitter 30 years later, and people go, damn, can't believe he lived through that spot. And you find out that the jobber wrestled like 2 days later. But elbow drop, drift away. I will say this, the conga line being hype as hell behind helped hide the fact that there was no heat for this.
Yeah, well, there's no heat for it. I mean,
it at least had a point because there was backstory.
I mean, also the conga line was led out there by Otis, so that's a thing. Like Heavy Machinery and No Jose are friends, I guess.
Cool. Maybe they'll be never open weight 6-man tag champions one day and not be on TV every week.
You always hear about Vince taking notice of people because some weird thing that they do, like the way they tell him a joke. He's like, I like you. You're in the thing. Or, hey, you changed your look. You always look like that. I honestly wonder if No Way Jose did the braids and the green hair, and Vince was like, you're still here. Great. Go out there and do things for a couple of weeks on TV that you haven't done in months.
Sometimes he reminds me of like Mr. Burns and Don Mattingly. Get rid of those sideburns, Mattingly. Oh man, at least there was a point to this, but oh boy, this next match made me sad. Kurt Angle comes out, thanks WWE and the McMahons for making his WrestleMania retirement match a possibility and letting him choose his opponent, Baron Corbin. Now, nobody in this arena wants that to happen. Very few people online want it to happen. I saw some playing devil's advocate, portraying this as some masterful long-term storytelling, and I'm thinking, huh? Like, out of the last 6 months where this long-term storytelling has happened, like maybe 6 times it's been mentioned. Like maybe here and there you get an offhand comment from Baron Corbin and he beat Angle and all that. If it's a squash either way, I'm probably not going to complain, but I'm not exactly sold that this will actually be the match yet.
Yeah, we can only hope. So earlier today, I noticed that WWE has partnered with a thing that I thought died when I was in grade school, Garbage Pail Kids, to create new t-shirts because they're always hip. I mean, if they're making a comeback, fine. I haven't seen it, but those were things when I was in fourth grade. Garbage Pail Kids, and I was so confused. Sean, I am more confused by the idea that they're like, you know what? We're gonna pay off this long-term booking with our big old Baron Corbin match at Mania, and everyone's gonna love it. Considering you had Kurt Angle come out last week and say, I'm going to have a retirement match at Mania. And we'll figure out who my opponent's going to be later. And everyone's like, oh my God, here, insert all of these dream matches here. Nobody said Corbin. And most people said John Cena. We said John Cena last week. The idea that they were like, oh, everyone's going to love this long-term storytelling. Watch them be so excited to see Kurt Angle finally put the demons to bed and beat Baron Corbin.
Like Baron Corbin doesn't have that type of heat where people are like, man, can't wait to watch him wrestle, because you know what's going to happen. He'll have his couple of really cool spots. Deep Six, always an awesome spot, as we saw later tonight. End of days, great finish. I like the choke slam backbreaker. I like his punch he does when somebody jumps in the ring. But you know you're getting that crossface gig right there. You know that's happening. Oh, boy. So Chad Gable comes out, practically dressed as Kurt Angle, and thanks Kurt for the opportunity. And boy, did this match go on a long time. This is one of the worst matches I've seen in recent Raw memory, and boy, does that make me sad, because I really enjoy both of these guys. You can see pretty early on why Kurt needs to hang it up. He missed Gable's drop toe hold big time. Now, part of that's got to be on Gable. Gable's got to assess the situation and say, hey, I go through this spot where I do this wrist lock, headlock, turn, then into a drop toe hold. Maybe Kurt ain't up for that. Maybe he's a step behind. And Kurt was more than a step behind. He was like a few cars behind.
Yeah.
It was not good looking. The crowd was being very generous to this match.
Yes.
Like for every crowd, even this one that chanted CM Punk later, they were giving Kurt Angle every chance they could, and I admire and I appreciate that. They're chanting, you still got it, but that is just not the case in this match.
That's a lie, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this match was at a crippling, sad pace. We went through a commercial on thinking, oh no, this isn't good. The highlight of this match was a good back body drop by Kurt, but he applies an ankle lock on a sunset flip, but it gets rolled through. Gable applies one of his own. When Angle flips him for the roll through, lots of miscommunication there. Didn't look good. Then this confusing DDT reversal of the Olympic Slam that everybody in the venue thought that Gable got hit with a spine buster or something. Ankle lock gets the win. Crowd was great, but this match was just bad. And I hate that.
Yeah, it made me sad because like the original booking that I had when Kurt came back was, oh, it's so great. American Alpha has an actual thing that they can do is they can say, we want to impress Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle can wrestle with them a few times, be their de facto manager. And so they did this weird thing where Jason Jordan was Angle's long lost son. You know, Chad Gable wrestled with Shelton Benjamin for a while. That went nowhere. Now he's Bobby Roode's kid, I guess. And I love the idea of Chad Gable like looking up to Kurt his entire life. I mean, why wouldn't you? This guy is the guy who was a legitimate wrestler, won a gold medal, then went on to be one of the greatest in professional wrestling ever. Chad Gable can emulate that. Like he's trying to. He was a great, he's Olympic actual wrestler. Goes on into professional wrestling. That makes all the sense in the world. And I'm like thinking to myself, I absolutely would want to watch Gable versus Angle a million times over before I'd ever want to see Angle versus Corbin again. But then I watched this match and I thought to myself, Yeah, I don't need to see Gable slow everything down and not like do what he can do in order so Angle can keep up. It was just kind of it's ready for Kurt. It's time for Kurt to go, unfortunately.
Alex, Kurt is an Olympic hero.
He is.
But there's no such thing as an old limp dick hero.
No, there
doesn't exist.
No, yeah, I don't know of one.
Doesn't exist. And as a wise man once said, there ain't nothing wrong with silver. Ain't nothing wrong with silver. But you want that gold medal performance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you think, oh, God, it's time to hang it up. It's just time to retire it. Things have been underwhelming. They've been very Baron Corbin for you lately. Deep 6, deep 5, deep 7, deep 8. You know, we're not here to judge. Whatever. But you want to be on that. You want to be on that
3.
You want to be on that grand stage. You want to be on under the bright lights.
Yeah.
Blue Chew will make sure that your performance is there. Blue Chew, that's blue like the color blue, brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. Since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill. You can keep it going through the commercial break, or you can say, let's go home right now. It's really up to you. You can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. It's prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor's visits, no waiting at the pharmacy, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, so you can be an American hero. Since it prepares and ships direct, they are cheaper than a pharmacy. And right now, you get them for free. Hot damn, Alex. Free. Free.
Free.
It's free, Alex. You can convey your amazement because I know that you're amazed. It's free. You use the code Fightful. You just pay $5 shipping. It's better, cheaper, and faster. Hit them up at Get Blue Chew on Twitter. Let them know you heard about them from us. And tell them there is no such thing as an Olymp dick hero.
No such thing.
It does not exist. And
did you say free?
I said free.
Free.
It's my Blue Chew segue, guys. Thanks. Did you see by chance? I'll tell you who it is off the air, even though they might bust my balls about it. We had a friend of the show hit me up right ahead of my Ring of Honor pay-per-view post-show. By the way, guys, over there in the archives, check it out. Also, I did a Q&A show last week to preview Fightful Select. So let me pull this up. They hit me up and they said, so I got some Blue Chew for shits and giggles. Dude, I just fucking laid pipe, bro. People get so excited. They just got to let us know, right?
Got to let it know. That's right.
Man, this is a very successful business person, by the way. I'm proud. I'm proud of what we've helped achieve in the world. Where are we on the show? Oh, here we are. Bayley is calm. Sasha a little bit more heated in the ring with Charlie Caruso, which makes me, Alex, want so badly a Lex Luger Sting vibe between Bayley and Sasha Banks, where Bayley is all wholesome and Sasha is just an ass.
Yeah, no, that would actually seem to meld really well with their characters that we've known over the years.
It works. It makes sense, but they're going to appear on SmackDown Live tomorrow. Divas of Doom come out, and Beth puts them over. I like seeing Beth back, but I'll tell you what. Her saying that Tamina and Nia woke up the dragon. Huh? What is that, Alex?
I don't know what that is.
It was a Blue Chew segue, but I already used a better one. So, so if you need your dragon woken up, BlueChew.com, code Fightful.
If your dragon's been asleep for too long,
you're ready for it to breathe some fire. Either way, the challenge is laid down. Beth and Natalya, Sasha and Bayley, and I loved it. Should have been Sasha that said this, though. Sasha should have said, are you sure you're kind of old
Well, I honestly thought Bailey. I wish they had done more to phrase it in this way, because this is what I thought it was. The spirit was intended. Beth, I totally can't wait to face you. You've been retired for 6 years. Maybe you want to train some, like actually have other matches before you come in and have this match, because I don't want this match. I want this match to be the best match it could possibly be, and I want you to be in absolute perfectly fighting shape and have wrestle like that. Not like you're so old. Well, but it's been so long since you had a match. It felt like it was like Bailey coming from a place of, let's give the people the best match possible. Maybe that can't happen in 20 days. Now, Beth can take offense to that, but I don't think Bailey meant it as such. Now, what Sasha said later to Natalya, she meant that shit, and I want everyone out there to show me the lie.
Go ahead and get into it.
None. Yeah.
Go ahead and get into it.
Sasha says to Natalya, which is great. What I love was earlier, Beth says, the best in the women's division, Natalya, and Sasha, you can watch Sasha Banks' mouth. Oh, really? Really? Natalya, the best. But later, Sasha says, Natalya, come on. Everyone knows you're just riding Beth's coattails, because otherwise you wouldn't even have a match at Mania. And it stings. It stings because it's true.
Yeah. Well, Sasha and Natty went at it. This led to a match. A lot of people are going to say, oh, are Bailey and Sasha heels or baby faces? Considering Sasha and her attitude in and out of the ring, and also how aggressive Bailey wrestles. Bailey is a really aggressive wrestling babyface, and I like that. I'm okay with it being situational, especially if it's like how I mentioned. If Sasha is the heelish side, but Bailey's like, hey, she's my best friend. Yes. I don't care how she acts. I'm taking up for her. That is the Sting Luger dynamic. Sting was a babyface. Luger was a heel, and Luger at least tried to minimize how much of an asshole he was, because he was Sting's buddy. Sting, on the other hand, was like, listen, I know he's kind of a dick, but he's my friend.
Yes.
I thought that was one of the most unique, best dynamics in tag team wrestling, period. I loved that. And I think that implementing that 23 years later with a couple of really talented women would work. But Sasha in particular is good with that. Her offense works really well. Nia interrupts the match to cut a promo, which for some reason is allowed. How does that make sense?
Doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't.
Within the realm of this show, they're like, hey, Nia, take this mic and ruin this match.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 former champions are going at it, but who cares?
Who cares? You got something to say, girl. It was very also, again, we talked earlier about how the crowd was definitely not into the idea of Angle versus Corbin at Mania. The crowd was super into the idea of Sasha and Bailey versus Divas of Doom, and super not into the idea of a triple threat also involving Nia and Tamina. Like, not at all. Like, they're not into that. And guess what? Neither am I, sitting at home on my couch. Like, I was never a giant Divas of Doom fan, but I'm super into watching Beth Phoenix's comeback match as a tag team for the tag team titles at Mania versus Sasha and Bailey. Sure. Nia and Tamina, you girls had your shot. You lost. Back of the line. Nia, go in there to the women's battle royal, whatever they're calling it this year, and pull on. Eliminate everybody. I don't care. If you want to give her a spot that makes her look strong, that's fine. But we don't need him in this. We just don't need him in this. Like, not Beth Phoenix's first match back, where Nia and her have miscommunication and you know, that we don't need that ruining what could be a really great match. I don't need to see it.
Well, this match gets stopped pretty early.
Yep.
Backstage, we see Mojo Rawley talking to himself. These started like 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, but how long has it been since the last one? A month?
No, I think they did one. No. They did one at Fastlane.
They did one at Fastlane. That's right. But on Raw, it's been like a month.
It's been a while. Ricochet gets a really good reaction. Ricochet versus Jinder Mahal is not a match I thought I was going to see, and I was kind of curious about. And Mahal did a really good job of making me not curious about it anymore.
Yeah.
This was the opposite of what Ricochet should be doing.
No, Ricochet doesn't. Listen, somebody said this. I think it was our actual Fightful Wrestling Twitter account. who said that Jinder's only still there so he can get beaten every now and then, and Michael Cole can say, so-and-so just pinned the former world champion.
Yes, correct.
That's the only reason he's there, is to take losses that make other guys look good by comparison, because you can say Jinder used to be champion, and when he loses, it's supposed to mean something, even though it clearly doesn't.
And he'll have a career pretty much forever because of that.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of people point at Jack Swagger, and I'm like, man, well, one, WWE's going to come calling for him again.
They will.
If he keeps winning MMA fights. Plus, if you've seen what kind of shape he's in, holy crap. But they wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
He left. They offered him a deal. Great Khali, they didn't push him out the door.
Yeah.
He finally left and is making all kinds of money back home now. Like they don't traditionally just fire a lot of people. Who is the last WWE champion that they just let go of and fired?
I don't know.
Without some controversial incident. Like, as I'm trying to remember, my God, man, it's been a while. And
yeah,
Mahal, this was not a good match. This was a lot of slow down. This was a lot of in the ring, facing the camera, rest hold crap, man.
Yeah, it's the Mahal special. This is,
and then
I can let it stand in a match like this, because I know the end result is going to be Ricochet getting out of it, doing crazy things where he does his little Fosbury flop moonsault thing on 3 guys on the outside, and then hits a thing where his body's rotating way, way, way too fast for his finisher. I know I get to see that at the end. What I hate is the Jinder Mahal match versus somebody whose finish is just, getting out and then, putting somebody on the ground again. Like, those are the problems that I like, where it's Jinder Mahal, where there's no payoff when the actual babyface gets to get out and do something fun. I'll forgive this because of it is what it is. I'm glad. Here's the thing the thing that meant the most to me out of all this is when Ricochet's music hit to start off this segment, the crowd popped real hard for it. They love this guy already, as well they should. But this guy is a future multi-time world champion, WWE, Universal, whatever. As long as they don't ruin him with terrible booking, this guy's going to be over huge immediately, and he can do whatever you want with whatever type of guy he's got in the ring against him.
Speaking of that stat I was asking about, I look back and the only even somewhat recent former WWE champions that aren't with the company are CM Punk, who left and had a lawsuit, and Del Rio, who was incredibly problematic.
Yeah.
Outside of people like that who were problematic, they don't just straight up cut people. Like Rob Van Dam left and Steve Austin retired, and I can't find any that they just let go of. Yokozuna, I guess.
Well,
Sid was problematic, but had Yokozuna stayed in shape, if Mahal gets morbidly obese, they'll cut him. But he's gonna be there for a long time. Space Flying Tiger drop gets Jinder in the sings. Crowd fortunately forgot about the previous 5 minutes. 6:30 gets the win.
Yep.
Woof. Ronda Rousey arrived with her husband Travis Browne backstage. I like them integrating him from a heat aspect. Now, a lot of people dislike Travis Browne for a lot of reasons. Mediocre fighter, whatever. There were some allegations from his ex-wife of domestic abuse once upon a time. There was an independent investigation that the UFC had a former FBI investigator conduct that couldn't prove these claims. There was a lot of conflicting reports about this, and then I believe the ex-wife said she was going to press charges, never ended up doing so, but has not wavered in her claims. So that's going to draw heat in the wrong kind of way. Hard for me to say, did this happen? Did this not happen? I don't know. So I can't really comment on that beyond the facts that I know. But Travis Browne is an on-screen character in WWE right now. And I think for the purposes of what's going on, it was effective, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw him backstage, I was like, that's a choice. I didn't realize where it was going by the end. The backstage thing was funny to me because John Cone comes out there with all of his little black shirted security guys, and he's like, "The McMahons have told me to relay this message to you. I am the referee, and so that is my job now, because we've never actually seen this before. Usually, it's a guy in a suit, but apparently that guy's in catering. So I'm going to come over here and tell you this thing. Please don't do the stuff you did last week." I did love Ronda's reaction, which is just like, "Yeah, whatever," and leave. I mean, this Ronda, this version of Ronda is effective. I could do without the whole like everything's fake. I kick everybody's ass in 2 minutes. I could do without that thing, but her just hating everybody, that makes sense to me.
I mean, you aren't alone in that thought. We interviewed Dan Lambert, American Top Team manager, who said in a feature that we wrote this weekend, he thought that was cringeworthy. He's a guy who manages MMA fighters.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't like that. And not only that, he manages an MMA fighter that beat Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
So and he knows pro wrestling. He was a very effective heel on Impact Wrestling. He knows his stuff. He was like, man, maybe say MMA fighters are tougher. You guys are wimps like that. But I think he was in agreement that undermined everything. WrestleDania is upon us. I'm pissed off that she didn't say it, but she cuts a promo backstage, and it was all right. She said she only had to be better for 3 seconds. Inside the match, she caught a kick and slapped Rousey, and it was a slap, Alex.
It was a good slap.
It was a slapping.
It was a good slap. It was not as good as the knee that followed it up.
Oh, no. There was a nice enziguri, real nice knee, and let me just get the hose. Oh, man, just moisten myself up there. I have long complained about the Ronda Rousey armbar.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I even checked it. I even relayed it to one of my catch coaches. They're like, man, that armbar ain't no good. What's going on here? She knows how to do an armbar. But when you bend the arm the way that she has been, it doesn't work. And then she had the balls to criticize Becky Lynch's, which actually almost finished a UFC fight this weekend, by the way.
Mm.
When Ronda Rousey did the armbar and did it right, and I mean, it's not like she didn't know how to do it. She's literally the best armbar artist in women's MMA history.
Yeah.
It was a thing of beauty. And Dana Brooks sold it like $1 million, made her look great. This did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, something I've seen on social media since that match was, why even build up Dana with all this stuff and, for her to get squashed. Well, precisely to give you false hope. We're supposed to hate Ronda now. If they're trying to make you like Dana and root for her, and then Ronda not only beats her easily, but keeps the hold on for several seconds after Dana's tapped out, further injuring her. I thought, well, I mean, Dana's never on TV, very rarely anyway. I thought they might have gone for the whole thing and had her kayfabe break her arm. Like they had Angle kayfabe break a Scotty 2 Hottie's ankle that one time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they could, but Dana's going to be in that battle royal in 3 weeks.
That is true. I forgot about that.
She could be in there with a cast on. Why not?
Sure.
But Rousey goes over and kisses Travis Browne. Now, this is just my hunch. I'm not reporting anything, but I get the feeling that Vince McMahon was like, all the men will know they can't have her now. That's a heel. That big, bald son of a bitch. Just get in there.
Yes.
Let me show you how it's done.
All women wrestlers must be seen as being attainable.
Yeah. You just know it.
Yep.
That's just my hunch.
That's absolutely how Vince would see things. You are correct.
Yep. They each beat up security guards, which I thought was nice, and run off together. This did scream heel. And a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about Travis Browne. Hey, makes me hate Ronda Rousey more as a character. That douchiness just exudes off of him covers Ronda Rousey.
Regardless of Travis Browne's history, if you look at it as just the idea of the character is Ronda Rousey's husband, who would be rooting for her and happy for her that she beat this woman very quickly.
Sure.
Then you have the security guard come over, and she beats him down, and then another guy gets in his face. Yeah, he's going to take a punch at this guy too because they're anti his wife. And I like the idea of him just lifting her over the barricade and saying, "No, we're not getting in this thing, honey. Like, this is fine. We're gonna go our own way." And I like her, like trying to fight back against it. This makes sense. This all makes sense. It's fine. I don't know when you add on Travis Browne's history and the possible history, if that makes it a little bit more problematic than it needs to be.
Sure.
But again, the most important thing in WWE is heat and getting it. So that's something that's going to work.
Dana Brooke lasted longer than both Kat Zingano and Alexis Davis did. She should probably be in the UFC top 10.
Probably.
Apollo Crews defeated Baron Corbin. Backstage, I loved this skit.
This skit was good.
Baron Corbin is backstage bragging to the Revival, and Dawson and Wilder are like, yeah, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Neat. Cool. Whatever. Apollo Crews comes up and asks for a match. And while Baron's trying to cut a snarky promo,
yes,
Apollo cuts him off like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because Baron's trying to say, you've got integrity, you've got intensity, and Apollo's like, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Until Corbin's like, yes, fine. That was good on Corbin. He just wanted to spit out his line so bad. Apollo wouldn't let him.
Uh-huh.
And then afterwards, Apollo said, nobody likes you. And the Revival were like, yeah, we don't like you either. It worked for everybody in this segment.
Yeah. No, what I love was Baron doing like to the Revival. What are you talking about? These guys like me. No, we don't. And they leave. The thing that this was all great and proves that the Revival can also do this stuff as well. But this is the part where I mentioned what happened on Main Event and why it has me sad. The Revival is angling for a 2 out of 3 falls match versus Gable and Rude at WrestleMania. If you're wondering whether or not that's likely to happen, tonight they teamed with The Ascension versus Titus O'Neil and the Lucha House Party on Main Event in an 8-man tag. They lost.
Yeah,
so
well.
probably not, but I'm happy that the Revival have the belts. I'd like for them to be utilized more on Raw, thanks.
Yeah. Cruz backflipped out of a choke slam, walked into a good deep 6. This is after a Cruz dive and Corbin slowing him down. Then Cruz just wins out of nowhere with a small package. Based on Kurt Angle's in-ring performance tonight, Corbin probably needs to eat a few more losses to make him look like they're going to be at the same speed. But eesh. I mean, I'll see where this goes. I'll see if there's any plan for it because, quite frankly, this doesn't change my opinion of Baron Corbin one iota based on what it was before tonight. It doesn't change anything.
Well, no, I mean, that's the thing is that if you're going to have him be the guy who is worthy of Kurt Angle's last match at Raw, if you want to do the thing where Kurt's retiring anyway, but actually what Baron wants is like to really hurt him on his way out the door. Usually you have that guy be made to look strong in the weeks leading up to Mania. Like he could actually do that thing instead of, getting rolled up by Apollo Crews. But, I don't run this company, so I don't know anything.
No Roman Reigns, no Triple H on tonight's show, but we did get Dave Bautista live via satellite. Talked about how Triple H used him like he used others and says that now that he's a movie star, he was able to get what he demanded. I thought Michael Cole was decent in the interview process, but Batista wasn't having it and said that he hopes that Triple H gets fired by Vince McMahon and his professional career is ended because his in-ring career will be ended at WrestleMania, Alex.
Yeah, I honestly thought they were going to do more of the stuff that we've known about, in behind the scenes for a few years. I thought they were going to be like, listen, I wanted to come back and I wanted to have my final match here. And they said I wasn't a big enough star. So now, look at me now. I'm I was in the biggest movie of the year last year. I'm gonna be in the biggest movie of the year this year. I'm a huge movie star. I mean, this thing. I've got this buddy cop comedy that's coming out this summer. I'm a huge movie star. I'm a giant star. Now they can't ignore me anymore. But now it's not going to be just my last match at Mania. It's also going to be Hunter's last match at Mania. Like, I feel like they could have done a lot more of that and like been laid it out straight that way, as opposed to, yeah, back in Evolution, he was really mean to me a few times. You know, like, I feel like you could keep it at this everything that's, I feel like you can keep it about everything that's happened since he quit the last time. I think you can keep it as that. It doesn't have to go back 10 years.
Just got word from Local Comp WWE. It is a Twitter account that tells you who the local competitors were. How about this for two members of the conga line? Flash Flanagan.
Ooh.
And skid marks from Tough Enough. I thought that was him. That's a good one. That is a good one. Drew McIntyre challenges Roman Reigns to a fight at WrestleMania. Kind of. He actually challenged Joe Anoa'i.
Yeah.
But I saw a couple people take an issue with this. I don't, since it was introduced as such. I mean, real names, character names, don't have as much of an issue with that.
They're blurring the lines a lot lately. This is not nearly as bad as other things they've done, especially since, and I like that Drew came out and said it. You told us to call you that, so that's what I'm going to call you from now on. I think that's fine. I think it helps with his heelness. And
this is a hell of a WrestleMania match. Roman Reigns is going to win it,
yeah,
but it is a hell of a WrestleMania match. It is a WrestleMania worthy match, Alex.
Yes, it is. Drew is, I think, he's Bizarro Reigns, if that makes any sense. Like, they're basically the same size. Drew's taller, but like they're basically the same size. And one guy wins matches by throwing himself at you horizontally head first. The other one wins matches by throwing himself at you horizontally feet first. He's the absolute polar opposite, and yet they're the same guy. I think he's a perfect foil for Roman as Roman gets back into like full-time wrestling, and probably, let's be honest, is the Universal Champ by SummerSlam. It's great to have a guy who's decided it's his life's mission to ruin Joe Anoa'i.
And if you're going to lose to somebody at WrestleMania, why not be the big dog of the World Wrestling Federation?
Yeah.
I mean, hey. This match was good. They're brawling. Rollins says this is why he did what he did earlier, because McIntyre's an ass. Rollins gets the tilt-a-whirl, but eats a suplex. I loved Drew moving out of the way of the moonsault outside.
Yes.
Why not do that? During the break, Drew does the throwplex. Rollins counters a powerbomb with a nice Hurricane Rana, but gets a side belly-to-belly suplex into the barricade. There was a great sequence where Rollins hit those suicide dives. I'm not usually keen on that spot, but these two made it look great. Sling Blade hit as well. Rollins was rolling, superplex Falcon Arrow, and then Lesnar's music hits. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore, and that's a wrap. I thought this was a very good match with a ending. It's stupid babyface syndrome.
It protects both McIntyre and, in a way, Seth. Even though he's stupid, he didn't lose because he lost. He lost because the bad guy made him look the other way. That's just. I didn't think either one of these guys could lose clean in this match on the road to WrestleMania. I think both these guys need to be protected, and they were, in a way. I'm fine with it. I don't love babyfaces being distracted by everything, but since that is a trope that continues to exist, this is at least a decent way of utilizing it.
After the show, Ambrose came out, made the save, but was not on TV. They did air it on WWE.com, but that's a wrap on Raw. We are back Tuesday after SmackDown. Jimmy Van is back on Wednesday. Listen, your boy is back. Last week, in case you missed it, I did a free preview of the FightfulSelect.com service. Every other week, I do a Q&A show. But last week, I gave it to you guys for free. When you subscribe, you can ask unlimited questions. Check it out. Eventually, I'm going to make that a weekly show. We're going to keep adding stuff. Head over to FightfulSelect.com. It is the most direct way to support us. You can follow Alex at Pawlowski the Fourth. You can follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow us at Fightful Online or Fightful Wrestle. But most importantly, visit FightfulWrestling.com. Thank you guys so much. Leave a thumbs up. Fightful, subscribe.